This series is intended for mature audiences. We insist you heed the following content warnings before viewing. Horror themes, language, adult themes, and strong violence and gore, including gun violence. Welcome to the Weird West. Let us tell y'all a story.
As the sun goes down in Hangman's Grove, oil lanterns and candles light up the church in an eerie glow through the windows as you're approaching. The whole town, all 50 or so people, are funneling into the church to attend this town meeting that the mayor had announced less than an hour ago. No children, no faint of heart. This won't be for those that can't handle it, the deputy had warned. The intrigue had the town whispering as they all funnel into the church. The summer night is warm enough, but there's still a chill in the air as you head in and you see the mayor standing up where Father Joseph usually stands on Sundays. But he doesn't have the same welcoming smile and open hands as Father Joseph usually has. His fists are clenched around a rag, sweat beads across his forehead, and he looks almost green in the face, as if he's going to be sick right there in front of all of you. His mouth is clamped shut, lips tight, as if that is what he's afraid of. Sheriff Simmons' boots clunk against the wood of the hollow stage set at the base of the podium, and he has the same grim look on his face, but it looks like he's holding his meal a little bit better. Once everyone's inside and you all sit down, Sheriff Simmons steps forward and looks out to all of you, making brief eye contact with what seems like each and every one of you before he speaks. All of you fall completely silent, and you can't help but glance around at each other as well. If you would like to use this time you can introduce yourselves and just describe your characters. What do you look like sitting inside of this church? We'll go ahead and start with View.
Well, standing out towards the back, as Adam has so graciously followed me into this church, I'm going to be staying towards the back, dressed in rancher's clothes, as well as carrying alongside Alice the saddle, the switch, and rider's boots. I'm standing there with a heavy glance, as this is pretty unprecedented.
Paul?
Well, I'm going to be standing not in the church, but I would be in the doorway, leaning up against the frame of the door, half in the church, half out of the church, just listening, wondering, in all the times I've been here, nothing like this has happened.
All right, and where is Finley?
Finley's probably more towards the front. They've kind of pushed their way towards the front to be able to get a good view of everything, but they are definitely like kind of looking around, seeing where everyone is. They make eye contact with you and kind of nod, and then turn their attention back to the mayor and the sheriff.
All right. Sheriff Simmons' mustache moves as he presses his lips together and takes off his hat before finding the words to begin. Mr. Mayfield's body was found in the cornfield this morning. At this, you hear gasps from everyone. More whispers begin, and the sheriff speaks louder. And his head was found on the porch of Mr. Mayor Murphy's homestead. And at this, he does pause, and everyone's no longer whispering. It's just full-fledged conversation sounds. They're turning to each other in shock and horror. Finally, he yells over the crowd, "We are asking for a few volunteer groups to go on a patrol tonight, like a neighborhood watch of sorts, to see if anyone's lurking that shouldn't be lurking. The rest of you, I advise to go home, lock your doors, load your weapons, and don't come out till morning. I would like every able-bodied person to take part in these patrols, armed or not. We could use the eyes, but I can't force you if you're afraid. Do I have volunteers?
Me and my friend here definitely lived here a good couple of years, and it's what happened to. Well, that's uncalled for, and I'm gonna make sure that nothing happens tonight.
You see a few heads turn towards you as you're saying this. More the people that were closer. They kind of glance back. Most of them look afraid, and you see them kind of nodding, like maybe you have a point. Maybe they should be doing something too, but they don't seem quite convinced yet.
Paul wouldn't say anything.
I'll
Go
also
ahead.
volunteer. I know I haven't been here long, but I'd be more than willing to put in my weight since I am able-bodied enough to help out.
He nods and then almost looks expectantly at everybody who is a part of this town, and just kind of his eyes just scan everyone.
Paul wouldn't say anything. He'd just head down, raise his hand.
All right, yeah, the sheriff sees that. Still is looking at everyone else, and a couple people raise their hands. They don't speak, and it has fallen very, very silent. And he nods at the few people that have volunteered. And very well. The rest of you, get home, lock your doors. And the majority of the church stands up and starts walking out. You see them, Paul just pushing past you as they're heading out. And once the church empties, he walks up to those that volunteered, and he's kind of putting people in groups that make sense. People who aren't armed, people who are armed, kind of in the same groups. And he looks at Finley and View, and he says, "Why don't you two partner up for this one? You can."
I think that's a good idea.
He kind of
Good idea.
glances. Yeah, he glances over to the door. Mr. Huff, you good to tag along with these two? I don't want anybody going alone.
Might as well.
All right. You can
Probably
take the southern road down toward the railroad tracks. Everybody be careful, and reckon you best load them if you got them. And he turns and he actually walks over to go with a couple other people in a different direction. Everybody kind of fans out towards the directions they were told to head towards. The three of you stand basically in the doorway of this church. The floor is yours.
Well, I believe that is the first few words that I've ever heard come out of your mouth, Phil.
I have to agree.
Well, I ain't the talking type. So I suggest we just keep conversation to the minimum. Keep our eyes peeled.
Probably a good
Suppose.
idea. It's good that there's not too many people out there. If we hear a sound, we know that it's going to be coming from somebody else. Somebody that's probably not too reputable. Everybody else is going to be hunkered down, hanging out, protecting themselves.
Shall
So
we
which
get a
way
move
are
on?
we heading first?
Leave.
South to the railroad tracks. I'm going to hop on Adam here.
Is there anything any of you would like to do before heading out?
Beforehand, if I can do it, I would like to just make sure that both my weapons are loaded. Just make sure they are ready to go.
Sure. Yeah, you can.
Yes.
You can absolutely do
Sweet.
that.
I will pull a deck of cards out of my front pocket, quickly shuffle them, and put them back.
All right.
If for any point that we get separated, I've got a whistle here to notify where it might be if we see something.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. So, are the other two on foot?
Yeah, I'll
Well, I
stick
don't have
on foot.
access. Yeah, I don't have access to a horse, so yes.
All right. So we'll say View's probably a little ways ahead, not much. Just kind of leading the way, and Finley and Paul are following up from behind.
Yeah, I'll be taking point.
All right, so you head towards the southern road that lead towards the train tracks. As you are walking, the sun finishes setting, and there's this darkness that overtakes the town. It's not usually an eerie darkness, but for some reason it feels pretty eerie tonight. Are any of you bringing any lanterns?
Well,
I'd say so. I would have grabbed a lantern.
Okay.
yeah.
I'll also have one.
Okay. Each of you have a lantern. You can have one on your horse easily, as long as you're not, hauling ass anywhere or anything.
No.
Bye, guys.
There's some side satchel positions too. I could tether the lantern to it.
All right. You have to light the lanterns as the sun fully sets, and it gets too dark to see too far in front of you. The skies are somewhat cloudy above you too, so you don't really have the moonlight coming down and casting any light on the ground below. As you are heading down the road you were assigned to, the gravel and the dirt crunch beneath your boots as you walk, or beneath the hooves of the horse. The moon is bright in the sky when it comes out from behind the clouds. You have brief moments of it illuminating things around you before it disappears again. Every shadow that is cast has you on edge as you're walking, and the sweet smells of the cornfield surrounding you still isn't enough to calm you, even though it probably would be on a normal day. Owls hoot in the distance, and every little wind blows the corn stalks in a way that make you look to see if something's coming out of them. No matter how many times it happens, it still manages to get you when your mind wanders somewhere else for a moment. You're on edge. You're heading down this street with the only sound being the footsteps. Is there anything you would like to do?
You said there was no sound but our footsteps?
Yeah,
and
just
the wilderness?
Yeah, a little bit of wind blowing the corn stalks, but other than that.
Mm-mm.
Can we happen to see, I know we probably wouldn't be able to see very well with the light from our own lanterns, but will we happen to see any other light in the distance from like either other people that are like wandering, or maybe even campfires? Do we see anything like that, I suppose?
Go ahead and make a notice roll for me.
Sure. The notice roll, what is that?
There should be a notice skill on there somewhere.
just have my character sheet, so I don't know if it's really on here.
I think it's one that's typed in already. Like, I think it's a standard one that you have.
Oh, so it's probably just a D4, right?
Okay, yeah, so
think
you'll
it's like a-
roll...
yeah.
Yeah, you'll roll your D4 and your wild die.
Okay. My wild die is the D6, right?
Correct.
Cool. And then I just add those together.
Nope, you take the higher.
Okay, it's a 2.
All right. Looking around, it's so hard to see past just your own light that your lantern is producing. Squinting off into the distance, you're not able to see anybody else's light. You're not able to see light coming from any other location, and that kind of makes you feel even more secluded. You're wondering how far away your group actually is from everyone.
Well, how long have we been traveling? Do you guys remember? Anyone?
Kind of lost track, really. It's pretty dark, so distance is a little bit more difficult to...
Right. Gotcha.
When the
Well-
clouds part and we can kind of see around a little bit more, can I spot any like faint plumes of smoke anywhere?
I'll have you make a notice check.
Okay. Would be a 4.
Looking around, you don't see any smoke when that moon comes from behind the clouds. You do, however, notice that you are beginning to pass by Mr. Mayfield's cornfield. As you're looking around, you know, cornfields are cornfields, but as you're approaching that just really crooked, never bothered to be fixed mailbox, you realize you're passing by Mr. Mayfield's cornfields. You can see his farmhouse out in the distance. No lanterns or anything, nothing lit. Mostly you just know where it is, so you can make out the outline in the dark. And an eeriness just seems to spill from the residence.
Did Mr. Mayfield have any relatives or family members?
You would know he wasn't exactly elderly, but he was an older man, and he was married, and his wife had passed away maybe 10 years ago. So it was just him. But he was pretty friendly around town. He was pretty social.
Well, I don't know how much you must have spoke to him, Paul, considering you yourself don't really speak. I think it would be best if we either paid our respects or took a little bit of a gander at his home.
I did have a few conversations with him. I think we ought to check out his house. Let's pay our respects.
Well,
Nice.
I guess I have no other choice but to follow you, so lead
Well,
the
if
way.
you so chose, you could stay here, but
I'll stay
in the
with
dark,
you. No,
I
no.
think that might be
think I'm good.
best. I could give you the whistle.
Oh, no, thank you. I'll just come with you.
A brief and nervous exchange, and you all start heading down the driveway. It's a pretty long driveway to the pretty large farmhouse, pretty large for just especially one person. Heading down, you see fences with livestock. A little bit of food poured out for these cows and these sheep. None of you are really I guess I'll leave that to you. Do you know about farming. Like you
I do.
you prefer
Farm
adventuring, but like yeah.
Yes. Against my will, I was realistically taught how to be a farmhand.
Okay, so you would know. I mean, these animals were taken care of recently, but definitely not today. Like it's not something that happened this morning or even earlier today at all. It's probably done by Mr. Mayfield just before.
Yeah.
You head further down and you come up to the front door of the farmhouse.
I'll hop off of Adam. Well, Mayweather, or Mayfield, my apologies. But I hope you are okay with us stepping foot onto your land. But wanted to pay our respects to you. You took good care of these animals. They took good care of you. But we're gonna make sure that nothing happens to this little plot here. I'm gonna open up the door some.
You open the door creaks open just like any other old house would, and it's dark in there.
You said the head was found on the porch here in front of the door, or
The mayor's house.
oh, okay, gotcha. Because I was gonna look around. Actually, you know what? I will. Can I look around and see if there's any new signs of like disturbances anywhere? I kind of want to like look and see if there are fresh footprints. I want to see if it looks like anyone's disturbed the nearby area, I suppose.
Do you have an investigation skill?
I believe have the only thing I have is a focus skill, so that's probably not going to help here.
We can do I'll let you pick. You can choose smarts or you can choose notice.
I'll do smarts.
Okay.
I'm better in smarts. 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So as you're looking around, inside of this home, it doesn't look like there's any fresh or newer tracks. You see, kind of the muddy, dusty tracks left from probably Mr. Mayfield's boots coming in. You see a trail from the door over to where it looks like shoes are held. There's like just this little wooden bucket of shoes. You see a trail coming back out, going back in, coming back out. And with all of that dust laying there, it would probably be pretty easy to see fresh tracks going through it anywhere else. But you don't see any.
I relax a little bit more, and I kind of just like turn to view and turn to Paul and just like, I don't believe anyone's been here recently, at least as far as I can tell. So
There's no squatters or anything.
nope, not that I think of.
Well, at least they're respecting them. Sorry, Paul, what was that?
I say we go in, and somebody did this. Maybe he pissed someone off or something. I say we look for some clues as to what happened.
So, is it fair to say that Mayfield's been here probably longer than both me and Paul.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh,
Go ahead and roll a common knowledge.
well, I can do my best.
Don't forget your wild die.
Yep, that's gonna save me. That would be a critical failure with both ones.
He was a friendly man, but he didn't talk about his business, really. So there's not much. You've seen him, you like him, he was a good guy, but come to think of it, you don't really know much about him.
Tends to keep to himself like Paul does, I guess.
Maybe that's why we got along so well.
That my brain melted.
Are you stepping into the house, Paul?
I'm gonna step into the house.
All right, you walk in. Your boots kind of smash some of the mud clumps that have dried to dust. And as you walk in, it's an empty house. It's 2 stories. The stairs lead up, but you see on each of the steps there are little carpet pieces, and they are pristine and clean, and you imagine the upstairs probably hasn't been used in a while.
All right, if anybody comes by, be sure to make a noise. I'm gonna step in as well. My first train of thought here is maybe he was cooking something. I'm gonna head over into a kitchen if he's got one.
Yeah, there's a kitchen. Head over. You see some dirty dishes sitting on the counter. Nothing appears to have been like in the middle of being cooked or anything, or even eaten. It's just some dirty dishes. Flies buzzing.
Well, I'm gonna head towards maybe a study, if he had one. Look for that.
Finley was going to also find the study, look for letters in some way, anything that's kind of giving clues in written form. So when they see that Paul is starting to walk that way, they will also just silently follow.
Okay. So we've got View heading towards the kitchen, and then Paul and Finley are heading towards, kind of walking around. You see like a little living room, very simple, like a 1 chair, 1 table sort of thing going on that's looking out. It's like a wall of windows basically looking out to the farm. Heading upstairs, you hear each step just creak as you're walking up it, and up here everything seems to be covered in a good layer of dust. You do find like a spare bedroom that looks like it hasn't been touched in a while, and then you do find what looks like a study area, but it seems to have mostly been used for like quilt making in a sense. You see balls of yarn everywhere. You see various quilts folded and stacked in different places.
Is there a barn anywhere nearby the building?
Yeah, there'd be one.
I'll go look at that after eyeing up his food and feeling a little bit of disgust.
All right, so you turn around and you just start heading towards outside towards the barn. You head out. The other 2 of you hear the front door open and close again. The little like screen on the door.
I'm just gonna assume that was you, and we're not gonna think about it ever again.
All right, so you head
Yeah.
out towards the barn. View, make another notice check for me.
Okay. I need new dice. That is another critical. You know what? No, I'm gonna use a Benny.
All right.
I ain't gonna critical miss twice. No, I refuse.
Wait, are you serious?
I got a third. Well, I'm not joking here.
Two
Notice
ones?
is one of the
no.
things I could do, and I'm botching it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Do I drop the second one?
feel
No,
like-
I'll
no.
just.
No.
If I'm
I
gonna get
wouldn't.
shot, I'm gonna get shot.
All right.
Well,
Famous
hopefully
last
we're not getting
words.
shot.
Man, 2 critical fails in a row.
That sucks.
3 technically, but 2
Yeah.
of the
Getting
same.
rid of those. Those 2 dice have been thrown to oblivion. Getting new ones.
Wow.
Oh man.
All right.
Okay. So, View,
Yes.
you step out of this house and you begin walking towards the barn. You hear your feet crunch against the gravel, squish against the grass. As you're walking, you hear the livestock walking around, moving. You just hear your steady steps, 1, 2, 3, and then you hear other steps. And
Adam. Nice.
yeah, actually, you
Oh.
you hear a horse, and you're like, oh, good. And you hear the horse starting to get faster and faster. And as you turn to face Adam, you turn and you see it's not Adam. This horse is not your horse. And as it is getting closer and closer to you, it is right in front of you. It's like it's barely 10 feet away as it's sprinting towards you. How would you like to react in this very moment?
Immediately I would like to pull my whistle from my side. Before getting trampled by a horse.
All right, so what happens is
It's a really good whistle.
I don't have a whistle. It's also 8 o'clock at night next door. I don't think they would like it.
I kind of want to give you a Benny for the whistle, and I'm gonna do it. You're gonna
Oh,
get a
I've been
Benny
blessed.
That is
Thank you.
amazing.
Woo!
for that whistle sound because I'm dying. Okay.
I'm gonna need it.
All right, so as this horse is sprinting towards you, you put the whistle in your mouth, basically knowing you can't dodge it out of the way at this point. You put the whistle in your mouth and you blow in this whistle as loud as you can. Finley and Paul, you hear the whistle just blowing from outside.
We should probably go figure out what that is.
Yeah.
All right. I am actually gonna pull my revolver out just in
Okay.
case. Yeah.
All right, and you're rushing downstairs.
Yeah. I'm just
All right.
gonna like run out and just like actually I will stop out on the porch and just look and see where that whistle came from if I can.
All right. What are Paul's intentions?
Paul is going to pull out his Bowie knife, and then he's going to teleport himself outside.
Witchcraft.
Okay, so we'll say since Finley reacted first, Finley runs out of the room. You're running, and as you burst through the door and make it out onto the porch, you see Paul already on the porch. And both of you are looking around. You look over and you see View, whistle in mouth, standing up, flinching at nothing. View, You swear the horse hit you, but you didn't feel it.
Now either I'm being pranked here. Did I see Paul appear on top of the porch?
You would have been far too distracted. I'm gonna say no, you did not.
Understandable. I look at myself. I got everything on me. I got my rifle on back, my pistol at hand. Okay. I think I'm going a little crazy.
As you say that, Finley just like kind of yells from the porch, View, is there any reason that you're actually blowing that whistle, or are you just trying to make noise?
Look, I specifically said that if I see anything, I'm gonna blow this whistle, and I
Well,
saw
I'm not
something.
seeing anything.
I know. That's why I think either I'm crazy or this barn is cursed. All right? Because I took a step towards it, thought my buddy Adam was hanging out next to me. I look over and something is charging me.
Right. Speaking of going crazy, when did you get here, Paul? I'm going to turn to this Paul that has suddenly just appeared on the porch.
Well, I was waiting on you.
Well, you were behind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe I'm the one going crazy and I don't actually see the person that's there, but that's really strange.
So anyway,
I'm going to take 2 steps away from Paul.
now View, you blowing that whistle just to see if it worked?
No, like I said, I only blow on this whistle if I saw something, if we were to get separated. That's exactly what I had the intention of having this whistle for. I'm gonna look at this barn, and if you see anything coming at me, scream, because you don't got a whistle. And I'm gonna push the barn doors open.
Do I see any sign of anything around the area that could have just like somehow veered off?
Make a notice roll.
Okay.
Who did that? You've lost
My head decapitated right now. Am I floating away somewhere?
3.
3. Looking around, there. I mean, some corn stalks are moving, but it's the wind. You can tell from the way that they're moving. There was nothing here. And you do see Adam over still standing where View left him.
And he's not acting like spooked or anything?
Nope. Just chomping on some grass.
Okay.
Does View have any? Does he just look normal? Does he look like he hit the dirt and rolled or anything like that? Anything noticeable about him?
Both of you looking him over, he looks fine. He looks upset about something, but he looks physically fine. And he turns and he heads towards the barn and he pushes the barn doors open. Pushing those doors open, you see 3 horses in their stables.
Do any of them look like the one that just charged me?
Make a notice roll.
Good connection.
Okay, so my dice exploded. I got a 6.
Okay,
So
roll that.
do I
roll that.
re-roll both or just one?
Nope, just the one.
Just the one. All right. Dice is 8.
Okay. So stepping in here, looking at these horses, you only saw it for a second, but the horse that charged you was black. It was black as night. It definitely wasn't any of these 3 horses.
Square. Nothing else looks out of the ordinary in here. Just the 2 horses or the 3 horses.
I'll say with that roll, as you're you take a few steps in, you see the 3 horses. You do see 4 stalls.
I'm just gonna check the empty stall quick. before anything else.
All right. Are you looking for anything specific?
Just to see if there was like any significant signs when I pulled the oil lantern up, check. Wanted to see if there was any signs that something was here recently.
Okay. As you're looking into this stall, you see the other horses kind of glancing over at you. I was just wondering.
I'm an ally. I'm an ally.
As you're looking in this stall, you see there was hay placed in here. Seems to be fresh horse poop too. Fresh enough.
Either they kicked it over from a different stall, or something was here. I'm gonna go outside. I'm not going crazy. There was a horse that's missing.
Do any of those horses look like his horse that he rode daily?
You mean Mayfield's horse?
Yeah, Mayfield's horse.
Looking in, you see the one on the stall closest to the door. It has very familiar markings. That was definitely his horse that he rode into town every day.
The horse that I saw, and I did see it, was black, and none of them matched that. Did Mayfield have a black horse?
Have either of you ever been to Mayfield's farm before?
Probably once or twice, but not significantly.
I probably would have been there a couple of times.
I'll say you can both make a common knowledge roll.
Well. Five.
I critically failed.
What is going on? You were here once or twice, but you didn't do barn work. Like, you weren't in the... No, you have no
Work in
idea.
those barns.
You didn't even know he had more than one horse. View, you haven't been in the barn, but the barn doors were open. You were talking with Mr. Mayfield while he was feeding the horses. He could have had a black horse, but you're pretty sure he had a black horse. But maybe you're just putting that in your head now. You're not quite.
I'm seeing black horses everywhere. I think he did. I'm forgetting your name, and I'm sorry. Finland? No.
Finley.
Finley. It's close.
Close.
Did you?
No
Yeah. I don't smoke. Did you interview Mayfield a couple times or anything like that? Write any stories about him? Did he tell you anything?
I talked to him a few times, but not enough to really pay attention to him. Would there have been anything that I would have known? I feel like I probably would have talked to Mayfield maybe a couple times at this point. Is there anything that I could glean from anything that I would remember? I'll pull out my journal of notes and see if I've written anything about him, if there's anything notable, I suppose, but nothing like, I feel like I haven't talked to him enough in order to know too much, so.
Go ahead and make a common knowledge roll. We'll see what we get out of it.
Totally. Oh, 6. So that explodes.
Yeah, roll it again.
All right, 2.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. So you take out your notes and you're flipping through. You didn't really know much about him personally, but as you're flipping through, you did talk about his farm. You talked a lot about his farm. You talked about how long he's had his livestock, the 4 horses that he owns, how he wants his words, he put it, one with every coat.
Well, I do believe you might be a little bit right, and I'll kind of like hide most of my notes that show this small part of it, and be like, he did talk a lot about his horses, and he did have 4 of them. And I distinctly wrote down the fact that he had one for every color, every coat. So it might be that he did have a black horse. So maybe that horse just came back and ran off. I don't have a clue.
I don't know. I felt like it was going straight at me.
It's dark. Maybe he didn't see properly. I don't know, but maybe
Damn raccoons or something. I don't know.
maybe a giant bear. I don't know that goes out here.
Well, I would feel like I would be even worse off. if that was the
you
case.
probably would be buried. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But,
I mean, we can keep looking around and seeing if we can find this horse, but if no idea how to tell you that what you saw wasn't just an illusion of some sort or something.
just a little spooked, I guess. Lots going on here.
It's dark. We're out here alone. It's really freaky.
I'm gonna.
Now, View.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to Adam during this too.
View. When you say this horse is real, that you supposedly saw, did it have a rider, or was it just the horse?
To be honest, don't exactly remember. It was very terrifying because, like I said, I heard clopping. Thought my buddy Atlas or Adam was right next to me. Turned my head, and 10 feet from me is a horse charging at me. So I don't know, but I don't think there was. Was there? Voice in my head, was there one?
I think you answered that perfectly.
All right. So it could have just been the fact that the black horse might have just gotten out. But if that's the case, it was very spooked. Which direction did the horse come from?
It came from directly behind you, so basically maybe in between the driveway and the house.
Maybe it came from the cornfield. I don't know. The pastures, something.
As you're looking, Finley, you look back towards the direction that View looks to like show where the horse came from. It's a pig pen, and you just look over at it and you're like, maybe it came from the fields. Yeah.
Maybe View's a little crazy, but I'm not going to say it out loud anymore because it's not the right thing to say.
All of you make a notice roll. Yeah, so Finley is too occupied thinking that is a pig pen. The horse definitely didn't come out of there. And View and Paul kind of glance down. Not really looking for anything, more of just habit, kind of glancing down at your own feet. You see heavy horse tracks heading in your direction, and they just stop right before where you were standing.
Maybe I should have looked at the ground first. Might have been able to prove myself before anything else.
Now, what are you talking about?
There are hoof prints right here, and Adam has stayed over there. Adam has not followed me, which is odd, but Adam stayed over there. Maybe Adam sees something too. But there's hoof prints that stop right before me. Right here. Where do the hoof prints start from?
You start following them. They lead like maybe 4 strides in the direction that you heard it coming from, and then they stop.
It's witchcraft.
All right, I'm gonna deal with the devil.
That
Okay.
doesn't
I'm
sound.
gonna deal with the devil to attempt to cast Detect Arcana.
Okay.
Arcana.
Let's see here.
As this is happening, Finley's just like putting their hand out in the area where they're like, okay, so the horse like stopped here. Is there anything?
All right, so it's a novice spell. It costs
Looking at it
two
logically.
power points. Don't mark off those power points. That is just
Gotcha.
what you'll need to succeed. So you've spent a Benny. You've chosen your power. It's going to cost 2 power points. So now you need to make a gambling roll.
Are you a capable gambler?
Ooh, it exploded. 8.
8.
Seems to be how these should go.
All right, so you get to draw 7 cards. Make sure your deck is shuffled and draw 7 cards.
Oh, good. I'm glad that Paul over there is just pulling out decks of cards.
I'll explain what this looks like in a moment.
Okay.
I thought he really
He's
was
just, like,
pulling
literally
out
just
decks of
pulling.
cards.
Okay,
Can you-
but you have at least an ace. So
Yes.
an ace gives you 2 power points, which is exactly what you need. So
Epic.
the spell is able to be cast. Now, I need you to make your spell casting roll, however you do that, with whichever trait.
Ooh. Got a 9.
Whoa.
Okay.
Nice.
So, here is what happens. You're looking down at these tracks, and then you see Paul reach into his pocket, pull out this deck of cards it's not even in like a box, it's just a loose deck of cards. He pulls these out, you see him fan them. I will have both of you make a notice check for me.
4.
8.
Okay. So both of you see, for just this faint moment, just a glisten, a little, almost like light is shining in Paul's eyes for a moment, but it's not the color of your lantern. It's like this almost blackish green kind of light that just glistens in his eyes for just a second as you see him fan the cards out, pull out an ace, put it in front of him and flick it. And as he does, that entire ace card burns in his hand. There's something close. It's not here. Something dead. Something dangerous. Something bloodthirsty. You almost feel it getting closer and then getting further away. Almost as if you're being circled, but it feels like it's coming from the ground. Like, it kind of reminds you of birds circling above, but it feels closer than that. It's not coming from the sky, it seems to be coming from all around you. There's something. Some sort of spirit, but it's angry. That is what you get from that spell.
That ain't good.
I have to agree. What the hell was that?
I'll second that thought, because whatever that was not
Your
normal.
eyes went green. Are you a magician?
I'll explain a little later, but for right now,
Is
There's-
Adam spooked?
there's something bad. Something bad. And it's everywhere.
Well, I don't know how we're supposed to take care of something that's everywhere, but if you could point us in a general direction of where it might be right now, that'd be great.
Paul would point out his hand and then spin in a circle.
That's not helpful.
Not at all.
Well, we're only here for patrol. We don't need to risk our lives doing anything here.
I mean, we could easily just go back and say we didn't find anything and call it good.
Well, we could say we found something, but we didn't stick around to
We
find
didn't leave
out
it to
what
the
that
professionals.
something was.
Yeah,
exactly. The exorcisms and whatnot, because ghost horses, I don't know. Something's weird. Is Adam spooked? Is he okay?
You head up to Adam. Go ahead and make a spirit roll.
Oh. Okay. Uh, 3.
He's acting a little different, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if he's just vibing off of you, or if he actually has his own reason to be spooked.
Okay. We found something that makes sense as to what could have happened. I would suggest at this point we rendezvous back at the church, because I think that also might be the safest place from this thing. And let's leave.
I second it as long
I'm
as...
gonna hop on Adam.
I mean, I'll follow. Paul, we aren't equipped to take care of this, so...
You might be, Paul.
Yeah,
with
but
your
I sure
deals.
not.
I got a gun. I'm not gonna shoot the ground or anything.
Y'all scared of the supernatural or something?
Yes.
Who isn't?
Him, I guess.
Yeah, well,
So y'all want to head back to town?
well, unless you have a better suggestion, I don't see any other solution to what we're going to do. Because right now, again, we're fighting nothing that's somehow everywhere that we can't see. So
We're fighting nothing that is also everything.
Well, I know it's here, but I don't
Correct.
know what it is.
So
Until we learn what it is, we should probably do some further investigating.
how?
Well, we'll talk to the rest of the groups, see if they got anything else,
Okay,
any other information.
so we should still head back, is what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do that. And then maybe you can come back with some other people.
You can come back with
Oh,
somebody
God.
else, because I ain't coming.
not my rodeo.
Mm-mm. All right. Let's head back then. And I'm gonna hop on Adam and trot, holding out the lantern just a bit further.
Before Paul leaves, he's gonna walk back up to the porch and make sure the front door is shut. And he just nods his head, goes back to the group.
All right. You head down the long driveway and you turn to start heading back in the direction where you came. And as you're walking, I'll say view. You hear this first, because you're probably arguably the most on edge right now.
Oh yeah.
You hear the sound of a horse trotting, coming from behind you.
Now I know that neither of you two have a horse.
As View says that, all of you turn around. You see a horse hitched to a buggy. And it is slowly catching up to you.
Is it black?
It's dark. It's hard to tell. A dark horse on a buggy. There is a little lantern hanging, and you see someone helming the buggy.
I was gonna ask if there was a rider.
Yeah. And it is slowly approaching. It is catching up, but
Does it look like they're in a haste?
no.
I suggest that we should be, though.
I mean, you could take off, but we're both on foot, so.
Well,
I
I'm
don't know.
not gonna abandon people
Well,
here.
I appreciate that.
But I suggest at least run it. Because as you just said, you're not gonna keep up with a horse. They got a horse.
Well, we could just step to the side and let them pass. Fine, I'll run.
I'm a little concerned that nobody else has realized there weren't no buggy up at the house.
Fine, I'll run.
I guess we're running.
I'll take off on a slight jog at first, and then I will break out into a full run.
All right, so you are galloping and sprinting down the road.
At this point, I'm gonna pull out my Winchester from my bag.
Okay.
I'm gonna tie the oil lantern to the side of Adam, and I'm gonna pull our Winchester and keep it pointed towards the buggy.
And are you moving quickly as well?
Yes.
All right. So
To
you two-
keep up with the two of them, though. I don't
Okay.
want to just take off past
Yeah.
them.
Okay. Keeping pace. The lantern on the horse is kind of like being jostled around a little bit, so it's making lights fly off in almost like, running with a flashlight. Like lights are bouncing everywhere. It's unsettling. It's almost making things worse because certain shadows spray outward at certain places and you kind of jump. But as you're sprinting, you hear the sound of the reins slap, and you hear the buggy begin to move faster behind you.
I can see the horse, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a shot at the horse.
All right. Go ahead and make a shooting roll. You are moving. So we're gonna put you at a.
I would like to say as well that one of my edges is steady hands.
Okay.
I ignore unstable platform penalties when firing from a moving vehicle or horse.
Sweet. All right. So no penalty. Because I would say there would be a dark penalty too, but you have a lantern and they have a lantern, so like, we'll say the darkness in between doesn't matter.
All right. I get to roll a big boy. That is... Okay, so I roll a d12, and on the d12 I got an 8, but on the d6 I got a 6. How does that work with exploding and nonsense?
So, what you need to succeed on most any roll is a 4. So either way, it's a success. Why don't you go ahead and roll that 6 again?
Okay. I suppose the odds are better than
Yeah.
getting less than 8.
Because it succeeds no matter what.
That would be an 11.
Okay. Especially with like shooting rolls or fighting rolls, I would probably take the ace just because especially with damage, that really affects how many wounds you take. So just something
gotcha.
something to think about.
Okay.
All right, so you two hear just the sound of the gun go off. You hear it slam into the horse from behind. You hear the horse make this awful screaming sound, and you hear it fall and the cart fall behind it. You hear someone shouting out as the cart falls.
What are they shouting?
Mostly just a yell of surprise and pain as they are wrenched off of the cart.
Where'd you come from?
Do you stop?
I do stop.
All right, you stop and you're shouting out. You hear him saying something. It's a man's voice, but he doesn't seem to be speaking to you. He seems to be speaking to the horse.
Wait.
I'm gonna go towards him.
All right, so you two see View start heading up towards the tipped over buggy.
Keeping reloading the Winchester.
Okay.
I'm gonna be keeping it pointed.
All right.
Look, I don't know where you came from. That's why it spooked us, especially when you started heading at us faster. I didn't mean for anything bad to happen, but you gotta understand that people are locked down right now. You can't just be chasing people. And I'm gonna try to I'll put the I guess I'll actually put the Winchester away and pull out the oil lantern, but have my Colt at the ready on my hip.
Okay, are you still on horseback?
Yeah, I'm still gonna be on Adam.
All right, so as you're walking up and finishing that sentence, you're approaching. This cart is tipped over, and you see boxes of groceries spilled out. You see the man leaning over his horse, and he looks up and he's like, What do you mean lockdown? You just shot my fucking horse.
Look, do you not understand what happened to Mayfield? Mayfield is dead, and we just came from his place. What were you doing there? There wasn't a buggy up there earlier. We just came from there.
I don't know anything about Mayfield. And he points to the groceries spilled out all over. I was getting a delivery for the town. What is going on?
Now, either am I dumb? Did he come from the house?
He came from behind you. He came from the road still.
Oh, I thought we were still leaving the house.
I will come by and I will start to walk up slowly and just be like, we are terribly sorry for any sort of inconvenience we might have just caused you. But
inconvenience! And he looks down
Is the horse still alive? Is the horse still alive?
Looking down at the horse, it is breathing heavily. There's a lot of blood at first, and there's this just unsettling, oh god. So you, glancing down, observing a little bit more, you see it kind of moving, like it's almost trying to get up. You see the gunshot probably hit basically the equivalent of its shoulder. Definitely not going to be able to get up and walk away, but probably didn't hit a vital organ.
Okay, I have because Adam tends to fall over a bit. With my extra funds, I happen to scrounge up a little bit of some medicine. Let me tend to your horse. I know what I'm doing. I'm sorry that this happened, but right now the entire city is in shutdown because Mayfield is dead. His head was left on the mayor's house. Look, I understand that you're making deliveries, and I'm sorry that I shot you. Or shot at you, but I thought that something was coming at us. And I suggest forget the delivery, go back home. But let me help your horse, so that way you and your horse can at least walk out of here.
He stands up and kind of takes a step back to give you the space to do so, and his face kind of goes pale, and he looks over to Finley and Paul. Are you still kind of a ways away, staying back?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He looks to Finley and then just notices Paul and looks over, and you were running. I thought you were in some kind of trouble. I didn't know why you would be out here in the middle of the night.
Of course, so sorry again. Damn it.
Well, again, once you and your horse are okay, leave this here. It'll probably still be there in the morning, but being out here at night right now is terrible.
Yeah, I noticed.
We just saw right again. We just saw some things up at Mayfield's home, and it put us on edge, and it put me on edge. So I'm sorry. Let me fix up your horse here. I'm gonna try to sew up the wound a bit.
Tonight was probably not the best night to be chasing after us the way you did. It felt like you were chasing us, even if that's not what you meant. Can I help? Can I do anything for you?
You see his hands are covered in blood as he was like checking on his horse, and it's just like, I don't. How scared should I be?
Scared.
Worried is probably the better term that you should probably use for it. I mean, scared, as long as you're staying somewhere that's in an enclosed space, I'm sure you'd be fine. But out here in the middle of the night right now, I mean, we're searching for someone who killed somebody, so.
And was willing enough to leave their head on the mayor's doorstep.
I was going to leave that out.
I don't really need the details.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't usually converse a lot with people. Again, sorry. Do I need to make a check or anything to?
Yeah, go ahead and we'll have you make a healing roll. If you are unskilled in that. So any trait you are unskilled in, you can still roll a d4.
D4, and then is it -2?
Yes, you are at a negative.
That's what I thought it was.
A -2 penalty for that.
Okay. I still get the wild D6 though, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's still subtracted by 2. Okay, my D4 blew up.
Good.
Gonna beat that. It blew up again.
Holy shit. Okay.
It's realistically 25% chance with a D4. So, all right, 9.
Okay. So you begin cleaning the wound first. You're pushing everything away. The bullet, it sliced straight through the shoulder. It's not even stuck in. It's definitely not gonna be the quickest, but you managed to clean it up and wrap it best you can. And between you and this gentleman, you're able to actually get the horse back up on its feet. It's just clearly upset, huffing. Its eyes are wide. It's tender putting down that foot, but it's able to stand and it's able to at least walk, but it's very slow. Probably couldn't support a rider right now either.
Look, we have him standing. Escort him back to your home. In the morning, I promise you, I will deliver your goods for you. All right? I'm gonna do that because I fucked up here. I'm sorry.
Doesn't say anything, just nods.
But I suggest you head home because it's not safe out here.
And you see him just take the reins and begin heading down the street, down the road.
Oh, and maybe next time you should probably say something before you just start running with people who are also running. Just a fair warning, and we'll make sure not to just shoot just anybody. So.
Yeah, he just walks away with his head down, holding on to the reins of his horse. He is walking still in the direction that you were all heading. He does walk off. You look over at the cart that is tipped over and splintered, with the boxes of groceries all fallen down into the ditch.
That's gonna be expensive.
Now, listen, View, I'm as scared shitless as you are right now, but I need you to just maybe bring it from like you're here, and you need to maybe just bring it down just a bit because
yeah,
that was I mean,
Yes,
he wasn't in the right either. I'm just saying, maybe we just.
I think
twice before.
I was more in the wrong out of this duet here though of mistakes.
That
And,
I'd agree. So
I mean, we're gonna be going the same direction, isn't it? We might as well just make sure he makes it back safe. Let's just stick with him. Would that be okay with you? I'm sure he's not very far already.
As you shout out, would that be okay with you? You hear the very, very sudden and quick galloping of a horse. And as you all look in the direction of this man, you see a horse speeding from the other direction. You hear a blade sing, and the horse galloping disappears as you see this man's head spinning in the air before it slams down onto the dirt road between him and you.
okay, I think we need to get the fuck out of here because
Maybe we should
run.
run back to the house.
At this point, too, you see the body slide and fall limply off of the horse or away from the horse, and you see the horse kind of like limping and whining and whinnying, trying to get away from whatever just happened. It's just like limping into the ditch.
I think it's safe to assume that it probably doesn't care about the horse. I'm gonna let the horse go. We should find shelter.
Can I see really quickly if I look towards the way where we are trying to head back into town? Can I see any lights visible from the town? Can I see any signs or something? Do I know how close we are to town?
You would know on foot. You're probably maybe a 30-minute walk from town.
Okay.
We're too far for the whistle, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Probably too far for the whistle.
Yeah, I only have the whistle to call Adam to me anyways, so turn Adam around and we need to find shelter. The closest, how far are we from the house from Mayfield that we just left?
You're maybe 5 minutes away from the driveway itself.
Any shelter is better. It clearly likes the open road.
Does it? Fine, I guess, but I don't like going back to the place where we even felt this to begin with. I know we can't get to town quicker, but I'm just saying might not be the best idea to go back to the place where death is lingering, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree with you. If we got any other alternatives, I'm all ears, because I sure as hell don't want to go back
Can
there.
we just go back to town? Can we try? Can we holler at anybody who's around?
Paul, you're the one that deals with this. What do you think? Can't stay silent on this one.
No, I guess I can't. Would Paul know of any legends or anything of a ghost rider type situation from his travels?
I will say make a spirit roll.
Rolled a 5.
Okay. It's not necessarily a legend more than it's a story for children. Any sort of ghost rider or anything like that you've heard of before comes from children's tales.
Good to know.
And what comes to mind exactly kind of sends a chill down your spine as the words headless horseman kind of tickles the back of your brain.
Awesome. Well, we're closer to the Mayfield residence. It would probably be safer in the long run to head back there. But I don't think anybody else knows about what's going on. So I want to head back to town.
Okay. All right. You should bring that up. I agree with you. If nobody else understands what's happening, nobody's gonna get anywhere. Do we have any way of protecting ourselves from this? Because that came out of nowhere. He didn't even have time to react. I didn't even have time to react myself, other than the whistle.
Well, that whistle did him good.
Maybe we just need to make a lot of noise. The whistle scared him off. I mean, maybe we just, I don't know, clap our hands, sing as we go down the road. I don't know. We just need to make noise.
Maybe it's several eyes. The horse only disappeared the moment you guys stepped outside, right? He was off on his own. So maybe if nobody's looking, he's coming from behind you. So everybody's got to watch each other's backs.
I've got a plan to get us safely back to town.
I'm all ears, Magic Man.
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
I figured as much.
I'm going to deal with the devil one more again. And I'm going to try to cast environmental protection or barrier.
There you go. I think barrier is what you're looking for. Okay, I'll let you alter it. So
Okay.
Barrier is like putting up a fence, basically, if you're stationary. But yeah, I'll let you try it for that, and it can move with you. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that 2 jokers?
That's 2
Yes.
jokers. Okay, so you see, he says, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And he pulls out the cards and he fans them one more time. And you see him just flick his fingers, and the 2 Joker cards appear facing your direction. And both of these Joker cards, they seem to like ignite and fuse together for a moment. And then from that fuse, they almost explode outward into a barrier that you can see. It's glistening with that same greenish black light and that glow all the way around you, almost in a dome. It slams into the ground on either side of the road. I will say it is originating from the cards in your hand. So you only have 1 free hand right now, and that will be the penalty you're at for it being movable.
So that's worth a trade. All right, I think it's important. Look, you did something. It looks big. Let's make like a triangle, our backs to each other, so that way we can view out as far as we can. I'm gonna get off Adam. I'm gonna have Adam walk beside me, but we need to keep eyes everywhere. Because if it comes from any direction, we can duck.
One of us is walking backwards and the other one of us is walking sideways, and one of us gets to walk forwards.
It'd be like if say you were walking down the road, the other 2 are pointing in like diagonals.
Okay.
Sure. I see what you're talking about.
We're making a triangle of vision.
You got it.
That way, if anything comes for our backs, the others will be able to see.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know how long I can hold this, so we should probably make haste.
Yeah.
It's also true.
All right, so you guys are heading back towards town as quickly as you can on foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, I will say, Paul, make a spellcasting roll for me.
If I might have direct influence in it or something.
Mhm.
Okay.
6
Okay.
is what I rolled.
Okay, so as you're heading forward, it's about maybe 5 minutes into this 30-minute trek, and you feel the spell weakening, and you kind of fan out your cards a little bit further, and it strengthens once again.
We can take off running if that might help.
Well,
That's
yeah, I suppose. As long if the barrier's still up, then we don't have to necessarily worry about our backs yet.
Hopefully.
Yeah, as far as we know. Yeah, let's gun it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody takes off running. Go ahead and make an agility check.
Hmm. Five.
I'm gonna spend a penny
All right.
Oh boy.
for a very specific reason of seeing 2 1s again.
What is
I
it?
have a
Not
D.
your
I have a
God.
D10 in my hands, and it happens to land on that.
Your new
God
nickname
damn.
is just gonna be Snake Eyes now.
Yeah, Eagle Eyes.
Oh,
What do you
yeah.
think they are? There's 2
Yeah,
dots
oh,
on
yeah.
them. All right, that's better. 5.
All of you got 5s. Okay, so you're all keeping pace with each other. You're just running. The barrier kind of like moves and falters in different places depending on where Paul was holding his cards as he's sprinting. Paul, make another spellcasting roll for me.
Four.
Okay. Sprinting, you feel it falter. It actually flickers out for a moment, and there's this panic. And as you're running, he just flings the cards up, and they fan out again, and it just explodes outward once again. That will cost you 2 power points if you want to keep that going.
Okay.
All right. Sprinting forward, barrier still up. Go ahead and make another agility check.
How far have we traveled by this point? You said we were 30 minutes out at normal pace?
Yeah, now you're sprinting. You're almost halfway there.
Oh, good.
7.
7.
Nice.
Oh,
Say
man,
7.
I got a 6.
Damn it.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
Jackpot, we win, right?
Yeah, so same thing, sprinting as fast as you can. You can see in the distance as you're getting closer and closer the lights of the town, just of the street lanterns. That power is going to falter. Make another spellcasting roll for me.
I'm gonna put the whistle in my mouth. I'm just gonna hold on.
Good idea.
9.
Okay. As you're sprinting, you feel it about to flicker out, and you just fan the cards out harder. You're holding on to them with. If they were any thinner, you would be ripping them to pieces. You're just clenching onto these cards as you're sprinting, not wanting to let any of them go behind you. Sprinting forward, you keep this barrier up. We're gonna call this one home stretch. Make another agility check.
Four.
Mine exploded.
As did mine.
2.
All right, so sprinting forward, Paul does kind of lag behind just a little bit, but you're all still in the aura of protection here. And as he's sprinting, Paul, make another. Did you spend those 2 power points for the last one? Whoa, sorry.
I did.
Okay, cool.
I did.
So
Am I
go ahead
spending
and-
2 for this one?
Yes, if you want to keep it active.
Home stretch. How far away are we?
You're. I mean, it'll probably maybe take you another couple of minutes to make it actually into the town at this pace.
That sounds like whistling radius.
I think we're gonna drop it.
All right, so this arcane barrier disappears. It's almost like vacuum just sucked back into these cards. As it hits the cards, all of the cards straighten back into a completely straightened deck, and you just shove them back into your pocket as you guys are just sprinting forward.
Oh I'm gonna start blowing the whistle.
Yeah, you just start blowing that whistle, and you hear, as you're just holding on to your horse beside you, sprinting beside you as well, you hear another set of hooves slamming into the earth behind you, sprinting.
Directly behind us. I'm gonna hop onto Adam as fast as quickly while we're running as I can, and take my gaze behind us.
Okay, so Adam's still running forward, you glancing back.
Yes, and I want to try to like mosey on. I can't think of the words. My mind is too scared right now. I want to like swing on one of the tallows off the side and catch myself onto them.
Okay, gotcha. So you're not like in riding position. You're.
I'm like almost backwards to them.
Gotcha. Okay, sure. As you do so, turning and looking, there's nothing there. And the second set of hoof prints or sounds are gone. And the three of you, out of breath, winded, exhausted, make it into town. You feel better as the light hits your skin, somehow feel safer. The town is quiet.
I'm still blowing. I'm gonna make
Just
sure
blowing
people
the
are
whistle.
awake. I'm gonna make sure people are awake.
It takes a little while. You see, people don't come out, but you see people looking out of the curtains of their homes. They see you riding in backwards on a horse, and they see the other two sprinting in. You're just blowing this whistle. Nobody's coming out, but you see quite a few faces in
That's
various
fine.
windows.
If they can look around, that'll make it safer. I think whatever it is, it doesn't want to be looked at. The moment I turn around, sounds were gone.
More of like a surprise attack kind of situation.
Right. It gets you from behind. It's what happened to the unfortunate decease that just occurred. Got him right from behind. Didn't even see it coming.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm remembering that correctly.
So should we head back to the church?
Yes, we need to
See if
inform
any of the other
Yeah.
any of the other patrols have shown up.
Oh, I hope so. I don't know how this thing works. Maybe it's that fast.
All right, so you head into the church. Before you even get there, you see quite a few people standing at the doorway of the church, having just come out of the church, looking at you in bewilderment, basically. You see Sheriff Simmons standing there with his hands on his hips. What is the deal with the whistle?
We don't know quite how to tell you this. I mean, it's a little too weird to really explain. But you have to trust us that something's weird going on, and we need to talk to you, preferably privately, I suppose, or with people that I don't know. But
Finley, you got away with words. I think you should take the reins on this one.
right. You see, we went out patrolling, and we made it back to Mayfield's farm, and we were scouting around trying to see if maybe the person who had killed him came back, but we instead found very strange supernatural happenings potentially, and I will glance over at Paul and then just like kind of just think about my next words for a second and just go, what we saw was a horse, and then we were spooked because it came out of nowhere and then it disappeared like nothing. And we got the sense that maybe something bad was happening, and we all got pretty spooked. We wanted to have backup, so we came back here, and along the way, the delivery boy was spooked as well, and his wagon fell over, and the delivery's still out there, but the boy is dead. His head was cleaved off. Just similarly to, I suppose, the way Mayfield was cleaved by someone on this horse that just came out of nowhere and then disappeared like nothing. And so we ran like hell back here trying to just get to you. We think the horse might be spooked by, like, I don't know. I suppose I also don't have a way with words. This is a little too weird to explain. But you have to trust that what we're seeing is real, and it is dangerous, and it is very much out to get anybody.
It gets you from behind. It likes to show up when nobody else is watching. The moment that somebody sees it, it vanishes. Something like that.
So we believe, yeah.
Yeah. I guess we have no real way to confirm it. It's
Right,
just an assumption.
It's the best assumption we have to run on right now. So
The sheriff is standing there kind of soaking all of this in, but you see the mayor push past a couple of people looking directly at you, Finley. And he says, you said the delivery boy?
yes.
The sheriff kind of puts a hand out kind of on the mayor's shoulder.
I'm so sorry.
His face turns pale and that almost green color again. And then he just... No, it wasn't him. And he looks to the sheriff, and it wasn't him. And
It could have been somebody else down the road. We don't know.
the
We have
sheriff,
no idea.
we will go look, and the mayor nods. Everyone else, get some rest.
Keep your backs to each other. Might just be an idea, but it's something that might keep you alive if it's true.
Yeah.
We'll have a meeting here in the morning. And the mayor starts walking, like brushes past all of you, and he's just saying, no, and heads off. The sheriff follows, and with the three of you standing there, the crowd disperses.
Not also the one who has a way with words, so if that makes you feel any better.
Oh, you write so fancifully. So
I had no idea that might have been... Oh. I guess we'll find out in the morning.
right, we don't nothing necessarily sure. Doesn't change anything. Could have been anybody. Could have happened to anybody. From those that were in the church, does it seem like all the patrols came back?
It does, yes.
Okay.
You're watching them gradually head off to their homes, and it seems everybody came back.
Yeah, I'm gonna head home too. Pretty sure Adam's tired. I don't know what to make of all this, but Paul, thank you for what you did. I don't
Couldn't
know.
thank you enough.
Paul just nods.
Get some
Steps out
sleep.
You too.
Stay alive till morning, I suppose.
And with that, you all head to your homes or the place that you're staying, and you lay your heads down. You thought it would take you a while to fall asleep. Your adrenaline pumping, your mind's busy. But Paul and Finley, you find yourselves falling asleep pretty easily. View.
Little Adam hanging out next to the bed. He gets to sleep inside. He takes the couch on his own time. That's what you meant to say, right? That's all that conversation was supposed to be for, right?
You find it a little harder to fall asleep. And you know that state right before sleep where you can still hear things around you, but it sounds almost louder or echoey, magnified but somehow distant at the same time. You hear a galloping horse. You're not awake enough to react, but you feel your heart beating faster and harder. It's galloping. It's so fast. And you hear a slice, and then you wake up, and it's the morning.
My head's still attached.
It is.
Okay.
You check, and Adam kind of gives you a look like, what are you doing?
Well, don't you judge me. I thought I had an existential crisis yesterday, only to find out that it's probably even worse than that. I'm gonna head out. Let Atlas or Adam go first. I keep saying Atlas. It's a different OC of mine. God damn it. But let Adam go first. He's too big.
The morning air greets all of you as you leave your homes. Are you heading for the church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Filing in,
Paul's heading to the merchant first.
Okay.
He has to get him some smokes for his habit.
All right, you stock up for the day. So you're a little late. You're the last one to come up. You standing in the doorway again?
Yep.
All right, you lean in the doorway. You see the mayor is not here. And you see the sheriff standing up at the front, hat in his hand. He doesn't look like he's slept. You may have heard rumors by now of Alan Murphy. He was, in fact, killed. We found his body on the road, not far from Mister Mayfield's house. And one of the citizens breaks the silence with "and his head," and the sheriff's jaw clenches. We haven't found his head.
Where's the mayor?
Resting. I am going to mandate a lockdown. I want all of you in your homes. And I'll come talk to you each. See if anybody knows anything. But for now, I don't want you leaving your homes, and I sure as hell don't want you leaving town. And he looks to Finley. Now go on, back to your homes.
As people are leaving, I want to bring Adam up with me, but I'm going to be heading up towards the to him, and I wanted to speak.
I'll also linger.
Okay.
Did you hear anything last night when you were walking with the mayor? Did you happen to hear gallops or anything?
He looks... His expression's kind of hard to read from how tired he is. He's got bags under his eyes, but he almost looks annoyed in a sense. And he looks at you. Yeah, I heard galloping of a horse that had been shot through its leg. Now tell me, those crazy things you saw last night, did they have guns?
No. That was me.
So you're telling me you shot the mayor's son's horse, and then he just turns up dead, beheaded.
I will step in at this point. I'll go, listen, I understand that the situation looks terribly incriminating, but both myself, I can vouch for the fact that we didn't kill the boy. Why would we? We saw what we saw. We got spooked. We were coming back from the farm, and we were running. Then we were walking, and then this buggy came up, and we ran, and it started running with us, and we got spooked. And we did not a great thing, but you have to admit that we're all pretty much on edge right now. And, well, being put on edge tends to do terrible things to our minds and what we think other people are doing. So
I did what I could. I tried to help the horse. With what I did, I felt so incredibly guilty. I tried to help the horse as much as I could. If I had done that to the boy, why would I have done that to the horse?
You see him kind of squeeze his hat in his hand for a moment and then toss the hat down on the ground. And I wish I didn't believe you. Things would be a lot simpler if I didn't believe you, but I do.
I wish so too, honestly.
Head home. I'll be speaking with people and
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
I've been having I had a bad dream, and I'm not really exactly one to call it much of an omen, but with everything that's going on, I have to take it seriously. It could have been me that night too, but in my dream it was. I saw it coming straight for me. I heard it, but the moment that I thought I felt something, I woke up. I don't know if that's supposed to be something like it should have been me instead of the mayor's boy, or it should have been me back at that barn. But anybody here, you're really the only person that might be able to tell me what's going on in my head, because I'm scared to shit.
Sounds like we need to go talk to the mayor and see if the night Mr. Mayfield lost his head, if the mayor was having the same dreams.
That's fair. Is the sheriff right there still?
Mm-hmm.
Would you allow us to go to the mayor to talk?
I'll go with you.
I appreciate that. I don't think he's exactly going to be too happy to see me. But
So
Thank you.
the four of you make your way to the mayor's home. The sheriff knocks on the door, just a few knocks, and then waits a moment and opens the door. You see, walking in, you see Mayor Murphy sitting at his table with a half-empty bottle of some sort of whiskey. He looks like he was asleep, but his eyes kind of open as the four of you enter the home. And the sheriff shuts the door, and he stands back by the door and allows the three of you to get closer.
I'm gonna sit next to him,
Okay.
pour myself a glass of whiskey.
Okay. He snatches the bottle back.
As I take a sip, set it down, I ask him, "Have any bad dreams the night Mr. Mayfield died?"
He squints his eyes and he looks directly into yours. Brings the bottle up, takes a swig, sets it down. How do you know about that?
Because I see him too. Just happened last night, and after what I just saw.
And in the dream it happened to you, right? Yeah, well, in my dream it happened to me, but look who it happened to.
Were you near Mr. Mayfield when he passed? By chance, did you meet him that night? Did you speak to him? Did you even just walk by him?
The mayor glances over at the sheriff and looks down. And the sheriff kind of steps forward and he says, "Why don't you answer the question, Mayor?" I wasn't.
But your boy was.
He was.
It's fair to say that whatever this is it's not going to be safe for either of us, you or I.
I believe it's already given me my punishment.
I've just started.
Does this town have any old books? Perhaps a library, town history, anything like that?
This town does not have much of like a library or anything like that. It has a few things, but not much when it comes to the history of the town. It hasn't been around for any like major historical events necessarily, so there isn't much of documentation of the history of the town. The mayor says, now if you will excuse me, and he kind of swallows, takes another drink. I'd like to be left alone. So fuck off.
Just
Yes, sir.
Just one more thing, real quick. Did you
What?
have that dream last night?
No, I didn't have a dream last night. I had it the night before.
Thank you. I'm sorry for everything.
Get out. The sheriff opens the door. Three of you file out. He just nods to the mayor, leaves, shuts the door. The sheriff, as you guys are walking off the porch, he says, well, we can only assume there will be another one tonight.
Only assume.
I don't suppose you have any leads on what this could be or how to stop it.
I haven't even seen the damn thing.
It's worth a shot.
The only
yes.
person that's seen it
I'm dead.
is View.
And view.
Next.
That boy's head's gonna be on your porch.
Was the boy's head on my porch when I left this morning?
No.
Did I didn't even think to look.
Was Adam with you?
Yeah. Adam sticks with me.
Okay.
Well, we have until nightfall. We should head back. I have a few things to check. Maybe a letter or two to send. Maybe get a good nap in.
I mean, we could try and I mean, it's clear that it's only happened after nightfall for most of these. So we have most of the day to figure out whatever the hell it is that's going on. It's at least worth a shot trying to save your life before you just give up.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
Don't you want
Still-
to go down with the fight?
Oh, well, gotta watch after Adam. If I don't, sweat pouring down my face.
At this point, a teenage boy, probably young, probably like 14, comes jogging up, and the sheriff looks over. We are supposed to be in lockdown, and the boy says, I'm terribly sorry. I was told to deliver this, and you just see a box. And the sheriff looks to the three of you, and he just takes it. He takes it from the boy as if it was like a bomb or like something. The boy takes it quickly. Go home. And the boy's like, okay. And runs off towards his house. The sheriff holds the box and he looks down at it, at the label, and glances back up.
Who's it addressed to?
I can open it if you want, but
I think we already know what's going to be in that, so let's spare our eyes.
it's got Finley's name on it.
Finley.
You see him pull out his knife and he cuts the side of the box. He peels it back just for a second. I think it best none of you are alone. Fuck. I'm gonna go take care of this.
Probably best.
Yeah.
And he turns around and walks off.
Is the teenage boy still there?
No, he's run off.
I'm gonna get on Adam. And I'm gonna go after the kid.
Okay.
I'll come with you. It's probably best we stay together anyways.
You following behind, Paul?
I am gonna head to City Hall.
Okay. All right. So you sprint forward. You catch up to the kid who's basically like stepping up onto his porch railing. He hears the galloping. He turns around and he.
Excuse me. I need to talk to you.
Okay. And he kind of glances around a little.
Who gave you that box to deliver?
It was just sitting with the stack of mail. I deliver packages through the town. Why? What was in the box?
Well, it was just it was near and dear to the mayor. So it was important that we found it, but see, it was stolen last night. And whoever put it in the mail must have stolen it. Is there any way to find out who could have left it?
I don't know. There's usually just the return name on there, but I didn't see one.
Do you know who picks up the packages, who gets them handed to them in order to send them out?
I don't know. I just know they're on the table for me when I go in, and I bring them to who they need to go to. That was my last one of the day. I figured I should get it done before lockdown. Why are we locked down?
Just because weird
Because
things
of what
are
was
happening.
stolen. What was stolen from the mayor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a roving thief and people are worried about their belongings.
Yes.
And you're gonna catch him?
Gonna try.
All right. Yeah.
Nice.
One could say it's do or die for it.
Well, good luck. And he turns around and heads up.
Do or die. Really? You're gonna make
I'm
jokes?
sorry. Look, I gotta make a postcard.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go home and just write 2 letters. Well, I guess actually only 1 letter. That's all I really need. And I guess I'll just leave mail sitting around in the mail room. Like anybody can do. Let me just slap this note down.
I mean, the mailroom is entirely empty right now, so it's
Oh
very
yeah,
possible.
it's completely true. Nobody's gonna witness me. Maybe I'm leaving the box.
Excuse me. What is Finley doing?
I suppose everybody's on lockdown, so no one's going to be at the post office right now, which would have been where I would have gone to at least look for some information. Finley is just gonna go back to their room that they're currently staying at, sit down, get off some papers that need to be sent off to where they need to be sent off. And they are going to take out the letters that they have been receiving for a couple months now, and they're going to take the last one that has been taken or has been given to them. Just going to look at it for a second, just nod, kind of just like reread what's been written. And they're going to pen what they are going to assume is their final letter to this woman. And they are going to basically say what it is that's happening. And apologize for lying this entire time. And they are going to leave it at that. And they are just going to close it, write the address to where it's supposed to be sent, and they're just going to pocket it. They're not going to send it out yet, but they're going to pocket it.
All right. Paul, you went to City Hall. What are you doing?
Well, since no one's here,
Correct.
due to lockdown, I'm gonna help myself to whatever records I can find. Looking for death records, divorces, marriages, all of that.
Okay, do you have an investigation skill?
I have a thievery skill.
That'll work. Go for it. I mean, in a sense, yeah. Okay.
Well, that didn't work.
Don't forget about your wild die.
4.
Beginning to sort through all of these files you're looking through, there are death notifications of various people, most of which you didn't know. Some of them you did, just seems to be normal death notifications. A few marriage ones, not so many divorce ones. Other than that, you don't really find anything abnormal.
Just the 2 death certificates of headless people?
You see, those haven't been started. You can see a little typewriter over in the corner, with some sheets of paper prepared, and just some notes scribbled about, manner of death, but it hasn't been typed up yet. Things have been a little crazy.
Okay. Is there like a record of people that live in the town?
Yeah, there would be some sort of population list. There's not very many people.
Right. Would it say about how long people have been here in a roundabout way?
Probably.
So anything that stands out of someone that I could go talk to?
The people that have been here the most would probably have been Mayfield and the mayor and the sheriff.
The sheriff. Well, then that's where I'm going.
All right. You actually meet the sheriff as you're heading out of City Hall. He's walking down the street to head back towards his office. he sees you coming out of City Hall, and he just kind of rolls his eyes. And lockdown. What do we not understand about lockdown?
Just need some answers.
Did you find them?
I'm hoping to. So, how about we go to the saloon? Have a drink. Conversation.
Where are the other two?
Not worried about that. Probably together.
All right. I could use one. He follows you to the empty saloon. It's kind of eerie. You sit down, he reaches over, pulls a bottle and some glasses, sets them down, pours both of you a drink, downs his, slams the glass down. Seems to me like you got something to say.
Well, besides the mayor, poor Mister Mayfield, you've been here the longest.
Yeah.
Anything weird, strange, possibly supernatural happen back in the day when you first got here?
I mean, no, I think we do a pretty decent job at weeding out the supernatural here.
Weeding out the supernatural. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, all these bigger towns, bigger cities, they got folks messing with ghost rock. They got witches. I don't know.
You like cards?
Never really been my thing.
Do you ever play?
Not really the gambling type. Like to know my odds.
Well, at this time, I'm going to spend my last penny and attempt to cast Puppet.
Puppet.
Yes.
All right, so that is a veteran rank.
Whoa.
So let's see here.
6 plus 5. 11. Yeah, math is hard. I got a pair of 9s and an ace.
So you can successfully cast this, but I need you to make a spellcasting roll with a -2 penalty.
With a -2 penalty?
Yes.
Okay.
This is for it being a rank above you.
5.
That's with the -2?
So I rolled a 7.
Okay. All right. So now I have to make an opposed roll versus that 5. Okay. So you pull the deck of cards. You were just kind of messing with the deck of cards. And you fan them out. And as you fan them out, you almost like let them go for a moment. And each card in your hand dangles from your finger by a thread, like a puppet would. Just for a moment, and then like a yo-yo kind of, they're brought back up and into your hand. And the sheriff looks at this, stands up, looks at you, and is not affected by this spell. The fuck was that?
Well, that's not good.
He draws his gun, has it kind of hit fire level, and he says, Are you the one that's doing this? Be straight with me, man.
Paul puts his hands in the air. I'm not the one doing it. But it seems like there's only two people that know what's going on. And only one person that wants to stop it.
You think I don't want to stop this? I don't know what the fuck is happening. You, and he kind of brings his gun up a little bit and is pointing at the cards in your hand. You they come in here telling me that we've got some weird magic voodoo shit, and you come in here and you do this, and you think, what am I supposed to think?
Well, with what I just tried to do, you weren't supposed to think. You were supposed to just tell me everything you knew. Without free will. But, that didn't work. So why didn't it work?
He straightens his arm and now aims the gun at your face. You mean you were trying to do some black magic on me? Is that what you mean? Trying to get in my head, trying to make me do something I don't want to do? How do I know you're not doing that? How do I know you're not doing that to somebody else? This Finley seems to know quite a bit about what's been going on. Pretty talkative. How do I know that wasn't you talking for them?
I guess you'll just have to believe me or not.
Mr.
Those two
Huff.
have nothing to do with this.
Oh, but you do.
Why did Mayfield die?
That is an excellent fucking question. Hopefully, when it gets dark outside, we can figure it out instead of sitting here trying to do voodoo shit and shooting each other. And he kind of holds his gun up again.
You gonna put the gun down?
No, I'm not. Because you just tried to just get into my head and make me tell you everything I know. No, I'm not gonna put the gun down.
He just grabs his drink, finishes it. Well, it was a good talk. Stands up. And Paul is heading out the door.
Okay. Where do you go?
Home.
Okay. Is there anything any of you want to do before it gets dark again?
Gonna try to get a good nap in. I don't
Okay.
think I slept very well. I'm gonna try to sleep a little bit more.
Okay.
I feel like I'll probably restlessly pace in my room for most of the day. And then when it starts to get closer to being dark out, I would like to make my way towards the church.
Okay.
Likewise, probably see Finley coming as they are heading towards the church as well.
Sure.
Well,
Well,
are you holding up?
I've been better.
Couldn't say it better myself.
Yeah. Just hoping we could go one night without a death. So,
Agreed.
yeah.
Where's Paul?
I have no idea. I haven't seen the man since I can't remember. This morning.
Also, Philip, you get a Benny for arguing with me.
Yay. If I knew I could get bennies from arguing, I'd be doing it all
Would've
the
done it
time,
sooner.
damn it.
All right. So Paul, as it gets dark, do you head to the church or?
I will I'm gonna stand in the street.
Okay, just kind of
Away from the
patrolling the
church.
street, kind of.
Yeah, like watching the church.
Okay, gotcha.
Just kind of stood there like this.
Okay, sure thing. In this church, it's just the sheriff and now Finley in view.
Well, evening.
He nods and then glances past you to see Paul standing in the street.
Well, I figured I'd come in here because it's the safest place to probably be in the moment instead of being out in the street. So, if you don't mind sharing the church, I'll just sit back here.
That was my thought as well.
If anything, probably doesn't like the church too much.
That's true. Neither do I, but don't really have another choice.
It's a roof.
Yep.
All right. Paul, you actually have a pretty good view of the sun setting behind the horizon.
Ooh.
It begins to get dark. The sheriff lights some candles in the church with shaky hands.
I will take out my peacemaker, just kind of just have it on hand. And I will actually kind of just patrol inside of the church, kind of looking out the windows.
Okay.
Occasionally, like kind of just like watching Paul, just to see what's happening.
Okay. So you are pacing this church. Paul, are you still just standing in the street?
Yeah.
Now that it's dark? Okay, yeah. Standing in the street, glancing around.
I think I'll be out front of the church, just
Okay.
hanging out by the door, next to Adam, in
Okay.
case anything comes its way.
Sounds good.
Back up against the wall.
Sure. Just keeping an eye on Paul, probably.
Just keeping an eye out on the entire street. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm keeping an
Uh,
important eye on Paul.
All right, Finley, as you are pacing, you see the sheriff just sitting. Not even, he's just sitting on the floor. Gun in hand. He just seems to be listening, waiting. And as you're pacing, glancing out the windows, you make one lap. You see View and Paul outside. Make another lap. And as you're passing one of the windows, just glancing where your reflection should be, you see what appears to be Alan Murphy's head staring. You blink, you jump, and it's just your reflection. The sheriff notices you jump and he stands up. You all right?
I'm just seeing things. I thought I saw the Murphy boy's head, but I think I'm mistaken.
And he seems to zone out at that. And
What did you do with that head?
brought it with the body.
Buried it?
It hasn't been buried yet. I've been waiting for Mr. Mayor to have some time first.
Right. How do you feel about everything that's been going on? What's your...
I feel like somebody's got to be responsible for it. The way I see it, this kind of thing doesn't just come out of nowhere.
You don't think so?
I mean, I don't know. I thought we lived in a pretty clean town. Pretty, witch-free.
Well, if there's anything that I've learned from traveling around, it's that no matter how pure you try to make a town, there's always going to be something wrong with it. So, are there any curses on any people in this town? Anything that's happened before where somebody has been harmed or anything like that you can think of off the top of your head?
No, nothing that we realized was a curse or was witchcraft, or I don't even know what to call it.
Neither do I, but figured it was worth asking.
Beginning to wonder, though. Seems we've had one under our noses the whole time.
Don't quite get what you're getting at.
And he turns and starts pacing over by one of the windows.
I'll just keep making my rounds.
All right. An hour passes. 2 hours. 3 hours. The sheriff kind of comes over to the doorway. At this point, I don't even know what the hell I'm waiting for.
He said that by the door?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sheriff, what we're waiting for is hopefully nothing.
Okay, yeah, say nothing happens tonight. What about tomorrow? What about the night after? What about the night after? The way I see it is the dirt in this town. And he looks over to Paul. The curse in this town. It needs to go. I have a duty to protect the people of this town.
Well, I agree. Whatever witchcraft is happening can only really be fought with more witchcraft, though. How do you fight something if you can't fight it on its own level?
What makes you believe they're two different things?
This thing is coming out of thin air.
Let me ask you a question.
Huh?
Were any of you with Mr. Huff the night that Alan died? Were any of you with Mr. Huff the night that Mister Mayfield died?
I was with him when Alan died. I was not with him when Mayfield died, though.
At this point, Finley has kind of like made their way back around, and they're like kind of listening to this. And at the mention of that, they're going to come up and go, "Are you accusing Mr. Huff of something that we all know he probably didn't do? Because the last time I checked, he saved our lives that night."
Yeah, that's kind of like a big deal. He's able to
prevent what was coming. So if you want to stop it, I suggest you look towards pointing the blame at something else.
Let me tell you how I see it. Mr. Huff hasn't stepped foot inside this church. Mr. Huff, he has proved he can make quite a show with his little cards and his magic tricks. So tell me, standing beside him while this killer is around, are you certain that's not just one of his tricks? Have you seen this thing away from Mr. Huff?
I saw it in my dream. I saw it when I was alone, outside. Sure, it was within proximity, I suppose, but I was outside alone. He had no sight of me. I saw it in a dream. It felt real. And I don't exactly live in his basement.
No offense, View, but I'm not really gonna call a dream evident enough.
Right.
No offense, Sheriff, but I don't think you should be accusing someone when it could just likely be coincidence.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Why do you not like the church?
Feels wrong.
That's good enough for me. People don't like the church?
You can't deal with the devil in return for power and step into a holy place.
With this, the sheriff points to Paul. He just admitted to the both of you he makes deals with the devil, and you don't think he is behind these killings?
He saved my life. What can I tell you? I'm indebted to this man.
That or you think he saved your life?
Well, Sheriff, you haven't saved anybody since this first started, so I really don't think you have any ground to stand on.
You're right, I think it's time to. And he aims his gun at Paul.
I suggest let's not start this in the middle of a street that everyone is populated in. You do that, you're gonna instill fear into every single home. Unless that's what you want to do. If you take a shot within this town, you are doing nothing but stirring a pot that's already overboiled.
You might want to rid this town of all this magic that you so desperately hate. But the truth of the matter is that it exists and it's going to exist. And you just have to live with that.
There are good magic. There are beneficial deals that have been made. That's why they exist. Not everything is about murder, taking control of people, or seeing supernatural things. Some of them are about barriers. And that's what I learned last night. Some of them are about caring. If that didn't exist, then how exactly can you say that it's 100% evil if it exists?
the sheriff's gun still pointed at Paul, he kind of chuckles at the two of you coming to his defense. And he nods and he says, you know, View, you're right. Magic can be good, magic can be barriers, magic can be making deals with the devil.
I'm gonna reach for his gun.
Slowly or quickly? Like he's like using his being distracted as like reaching
I'm gonna do
for
it
the
fast.
gun? Okay, go ahead and make an agility roll for me.
All right. I'm gonna use a Bentley. Or Bendy. I can't remember what they're called now.
Benny.
Benny. Sorry, I'm excited. I'm glad I did that. That's a 14.
What?
I rolled a
14.
10 on my D10.
Damn. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
It's a little bit better than 5.
A little bit. So the two of you see in one flash, View like snaps his hand outward, brings it back, and you have the sheriff's pistol in your hand. And at that motion, his hand is still held out, like
It's still held out. Can I slap my handcuffs that I have onto it?
Make another agility roll.
Okay. Uh, 8.
Ooh, I also rolled an 8.
Oh, what does that mean?
Let's re-roll.
All right. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna spend another one. That one was bad. That would have been a 2.
Okay. Arms still held out, you reach over with your other hand and slap the handcuffs around that wrist. He instinctually goes to like pull back, and the you're holding on to the other side of the handcuffs, and it pulls tight for a moment. And he turns his head away from Paul and looks at you, and he says, maybe it is time we even the odds. And you hear galloping.
You son of a bitch.
Some magics have a quota. And you hear the galloping getting louder and louder, and we are going to draw some action cards.
Oh, shit.
Here is Finley's card.
10. Spades.
Getting
I
a
know, it's that
solid
close.
10. Oh, that's smart. I like that.
Yeah.
Here is Views.
What is that? Is that K?
That's
K?
Yep, that's a K.
I'm gonna need it because I think that horse is coming real close.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Here is for Paul.
Ooh.
Here is for the sheriff.
So can you see these? I'm guessing, right?
Mostly. I can mostly see these.
Okay, just making
And-
sure.
And here is for the headless horseman.
Good.
Who,
What is that?
We'll take it.
It's a
It's a 7.
It's a 7. Good.
Good. Let him
Good,
be at
good.
the lowest
Okay.
low.
So let's see. It looks like View is up first.
Awesome. I'm gonna look. Where's the horse coming from? Who?
Turning around, it is coming basically from the road that you guys came in on into town. So it's probably actually closer to Paul.
Okay.
So you can see it?
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay.
Are there penalties from shooting a man up close? Like from point blank?
Nope.
I'm gonna shoot the sheriff.
With his own gun?
For irony, yeah, let's do that.
Sweet. Yeah, because you already have that in your
Damn.
hands. You spin
Yeah,
it
it's
around,
right there.
bring
Just
it
use
forward,
it.
and
Yeah.
make a shooting roll.
All right. I'm gonna spend my last penny on that one
Okay.
because I have to for a roll like that. All right. Ooh. So I can pick either or, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna take the 11 instead of the 6
Okay.
because
Do you have a
my
D12
odds
for
are
your
not. Yeah, my shooting is a D12.
Sure.
So there's very little chance that I'll get better than that.
Sounds good. So you just spin the gun to where you're actually gripping it, put it, basically stab it into his ribs and fire. You just hear the gunshot pop off. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. So is his gun just the same as like a Colt?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's 2d6
Yes.
plus 1. Is it 2d6 plus 1 or is it just 2d6 for
I think it's just 2d6.
Okay. Because that whatever I have the
I think it's a +1.
is it a peacemaker?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a plus 1.
Okay. Yeah.
That will be 3.
3 damage.
Yes.
All right. All right, so as this fires, as it jammed into him, it kind of gave him a little bit of a warning. He actually grabs onto your arm from the handcuff and pushes just enough to where the bullet actually just grazes his side as it fires off. So
I'll take it.
it hit him, but just maybe not quite where you wanted it to. And it is now his turn. So his arm is in this handcuff. He is going to reach down, grab onto the handcuff chain, and he's going to try to, with both hands, maneuver the other handcuff onto your wrist as well. Go ahead and make, I'll let you choose strength or agility.
I'll take agility on that one. Did I forego the roll?
You want to let it succeed?
Because he's putting the other handcuff on me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with letting that happen.
Okay, sure. All right, so he flips that around, slams the other side of the handcuff on you, and the two of you are now connected. And that is his turn.
You're not running.
All right, we are up to Finley.
Okay. Shoot. So the sheriff is still up. And how far away is this headless horseman?
It is riding in quickly. It will definitely, it is approaching Paul.
Okay. I'll try to shoot the sheriff as well. I will use my peacemaker to shoot at him. And
Alright.
I just want to clarify, because this is still so new to me. For making an attack roll, do I use my strength and then
You
a
will
D6?
actually, do you have a shooting skill?
I don't actually.
So it'll be a D4.
A D4. Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
see that now.
Yeah, a D4 with your wild die still.
Yes.
So still your D6, and then you'll
Okay.
take the higher.
Thank you.
And it'll be a -2.
Okay. Well, that was a 6 on the die, but -2 is a 4.
Okay, so yeah, you bring up your gun and you are looking at the Headless Horseman at first and then just turn and aim right at the sheriff and fire. Go ahead and roll your damage.
All right, 5, 10. That is 11 points of damage.
11 points.
Yeah.
I also. Oh no, that only affects the shooting skill. Never mind. Ignore mine.
All right, so you fire off towards the sheriff. You see a bullet slam into his back. View, you actually see him kind of like step forward a little bit from the pain. You hear something impact, and no bullet comes out on the other side. And he sits there with wide eyes. And that is your turn.
This man's got a bulletproof vest.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are now up to Paul.
I'm gonna use 2 power points to
Okay.
teleport right in front of the sheriff.
We're just ganging up on this guy.
I mean, he deserves it at this point.
Yeah. If we kill him, the ghost goes.
All right, go ahead and make your
Yeah.
spellcasting roll.
I was more imagining just the 2 people just shooting at the sheriff from point blank, and then we're just leaving Paul to the headless. Like,
Sorry.
10.
You got this. Okay, yeah. So, in a green flash, you disappear just in time for the horseman's scythe to swing through the air. Just slices, misses you completely. You teleport out. You land. Basically, the sheriff is standing in between a triangle of people. You are standing right beside View. What would you like to do? I don't think you can really attack after using your spell, but it kind of depends on what you want to do.
It's true. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna spellcast again.
I don't know if you can twice.
Can I
per-
deal with the devil?
Sure, you have one more, Benny.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna attempt. Can I use disguise on the sheriff?
Sure. Okay. I think I see where you're going with this.
oh.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I'm loving this.
I just got so excited. All right.
Oh wait, I'm
It
now
is-
suddenly less excited though.
It is a seasoned spell, so you're good when it comes to that. You need 2 power points, so go ahead and make your gambling roll.
Both of them exploded.
Oh wow.
Take your pick.
10.
2 pair. Just make your spellcasting roll, man.
Ooh, exploded again.
Oh my
What is
God.
happening?
I'm
You
getting real lucky today.
Have you sucked away my life?
Okay, so here we go. You teleport in front of the sheriff. You pull the deck of cards out and kind of just wave them in front of his face and then flash them, almost like a fan. That green light comes from your eyes and arcs through your arm, through the cards, and then slams out towards the sheriff, slams into him. How are you disguising the sheriff?
He looks like another horseman.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. So you would have gotten a really good view of the actual horseman from where you were standing at a moment ago. You're probably the only one who has seen this, and now all of you have. You see a tall, it almost looks like it could be a raincoat, but it's pitch black. Just this leather coat buttoned up all the way down. The sleeves are torn and tattered, and the hands, for a moment you thought were gloves, but you realize is like burnt flesh instead. And it's standing there gripping a scythe in its hand. The head, you see parts of it look like it was not so cleanly decapitated. It looks like it was almost just twisted and ripped and torn. There was no clean decapitation here. But as it's standing there, almost taking place of... It's almost like the spell is trying to figure out how to make the sheriff not have a head with this disguise. And you see it shifting between the sheriff's face. You see Mr. Mayfield's face. You see Alan Murphy's face. And then you see Finley's face. And it keeps shifting between those four. And that is your turn.
I suggest you run.
I think I might just stay in the church.
It is now the horseman's turn. The horseman, swinging and missing from you teleporting away. You hear the hooves slide as it skids in the dirt, and the horse actually turns, faces all of you in the same vicinity, and it sprints in your direction, galloping. It brings out the scythe, and it is going to bring it down as it is running by for Finley.
Okay.
Tell me how you dodge this.
I see him running towards me, and I will literally, like, not even thinking, just like dive right back into the church and like just like full, like basically like penguin slide and try to get under one of the pews, basically.
All right, so this all happened so quickly. The sheriff is transformed basically into another one of these beings. It turns, gallops in your direction, and as it does so, you see the scythe pulled out. You hear View say, "I think you should run," and as he's swinging, you just turn and dive, and you do slide underneath one of these. Your head kind of slams into one of the legs of it, but you just push yourself under and hide. It gallops directly into the church, skids on the wood floor. It's huffing, and that is its turn. And now we're gonna hit our next round of action cards.
The church ain't safe. Church ain't safe all.
Nope.
We have Finley.
I suppose. No, nice.
Okay,
Nice, Finley.
okay,
you can
okay.
you can recover from this.
Yeah, can I?
Well, you at least go first.
We have View. We have Paul.
Hey, twinsies.
We have the sheriff. I'm gonna spend a Benny. I'm gonna spend a Benny
Oh, damn. That's fair.
to keep the cards in order. Here is the headless horseman. Ooh, I'm gonna spend a Benny for that one too.
No.
That's fair.
Oh.
I would too.
That was my last Benny. So
Oh no.
Was it?
Here.
I thought you only used two.
I didn't tell you when I used one of them before.
Oh.
I almost shouldn't have used it because then after you just let me put the handcuffs on you, but I'm like, I used it anyway, it's fine. Here is the sheriff's redraw.
Oh.
That's rough.
R.I.P. to the sheriff. I wish he wasn't handcuffed to you.
I wish it was
literally
I wish
toss
it
him.
was.
And
I wish
here
it was,
is
headless horseman's though.
here is the headless horseman.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, we don't know that yet. Might be going after Finley. Although it did swing at you, so I don't really feel safe anymore either.
First up is Finley.
Oh, I'm put on the spot. Fuck. Okay, I literally can't fight against this thing. I just know it. I will get myself out of the pew and I will literally book it right back out. And what is the What is the building across from the church?
That would probably be, probably like a general goods.
Okay. Can I make it that far?
Make an agility roll for me, and I'll see.
Okay.
Actually, you should have a,
Ace.
I think your pace is 6.
My pace is 6, yeah.
Roll a d6.
Okay. It exploded.
Yeah, you can make it.
Okay.
Yeah. You're sprinting like your life depends on it, because it
yeah.
pretty much does.
Literally just like gunning it all the way over there, and then I'm literally just gonna slam my body into the like door of this to try to get it to open.
Sure. Make a strength roll for me. I'm gonna give you a +2.
Okay. That's a 2.
With the +2 though.
Oh, with the +2, 4. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. I was like, is that possible? No, I don't think that
no,
is.
it's not. It's
I rolled a 0.
Totally, like,
yeah, so you're running, you just slam your shoulder into this thing. The door actually, the actual latch breaks and just slams open. You slam through the door. You're in this building.
cool. I'm hiding behind the nearest thing that I can hide behind.
All right. Sounds good. That is your turn. It is now the Headless Horseman's turn. So, you hear the hooves, kind of clunk against the wood as it's turning around. The horse itself is huffing and sniffing, and the horseman is holding on to the reins. It turns around and it slams on the reins and heads back out. And it is crossing the street. It makes it into the street, stops, and the horseman is actively looking around for Finley. That is the horseman's turn. All right, so with this, I think it's super fun to let two characters go at the same time if you have something you want to do. If not, it would technically be View that's up next. So I'll let you guys decide that.
Hey, Paul, I got a plan, but my plan involves a solo action. So you do yours first.
Oh boy. Are you gonna let me know what the plan is, or are we just...
I'm gonna take off. I think there's a proximity thing. Because when we looked at the horse before, it vanished, but we were nowhere near the sheriff. This one doesn't seem to care, maybe because we're too close to the sheriff. Stronger.
So are you going for your horse?
I'm gonna take my horse and I'm gonna drag him along with me. Or try to.
Sounds like a good idea.
Would Adam be able to hold a second person?
You don't know, but you can certainly find out.
I mean, if you're dragging him, what's it matter?
Well, I meant more so if Paul wanted to ride too, but then I guess that would be 3 people. That might be a little too much.
That might be a little much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually going to use 2 more power points to teleport onto the horseman.
Oh my god. Okay, make a spellcasting roll.
Five.
All right, so the horseman gallops out, stops in the middle of the street, is looking around, and then you are just directly, like, you're on the horse.
Yes.
You land on the horse directly behind this guy. What do you do? This is the first time for him. He doesn't know.
I don't know either.
You gonna give him a hug? Like
I'm gonna pull the Bowie knife.
Okay.
And I'm going straight into what used to be neck.
Oh.
Ew.
Really gross.
I don't know if you get 2 things per round, but this is cool. So do it. Just do it.
Okay.
Just do it.
I'm doing it.
Do it.
It'll
5.
be your. Did you roll your fighting?
No, I did not.
Okay, roll again. Roll your fighting and your wild die.
11. My wild die exploded.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow.
Cool. Make a damage roll. That knife, I believe. Oh, what is
Right, what it was? No, I did not. I'm dumb.
Is it the
Bowie
Bowie?
Yeah, it's the Bowie knife.
E4 plus strength.
Mm-hmm.
I have the same thing.
D4 plus my strength.
Yes.
6 points of damage.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So you stab down into this thing. That is what's kind of holding you steady on the back of this horse. View.
Gross.
Yeah. Okay. So View, you're up.
I'm gonna stick to my plan, and I'm gonna hop onto Adam, or do what I as best as I can. I'm gonna side saddle on top, grip down, and I'm gonna yeah.
Okay.
If this guy's got a bulletproof vest, I'd like to see him bulletproof himself from rocks. So I'm just dragging him across the gravel road.
Go ahead and make a strength roll for me.
Okay. That is a 3.
All right. So, as you're pulling, you yank his arm, and he steadies himself pretty decently, like on his heels, basically. But as you whistle, he comes over. He comes to you and helps you. You basically put your arm around him, and he pulls. And the sheriff cannot fight both strengths. You're just hanging on to the horse. You take off.
Yeah, I'm gonna run in the opposite direction of where the Mayfield farm is.
Okay. All right. So you just take off in that direction.
Yeah, and I want to drag him so he's just hitting the ground the whole way.
All right. So he is being dragged. It is his turn. He is going to being dragged by one arm, basically behind this horse. He is going to pull out his Bowie knife, and he is gonna swing upward wildly at the back of the horse's leg, like the Achilles tendon.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna kill you.
Stab me, fine. You stab the horse.
All right, so as you're sprinting away, he slices upwards. You hear the horse let out this scream of pain as the knife slices across the tendon. You feel immediately the horse just go down. It just falls to the ground onto its side. Both of you are flung off, wrists still held together. You're rolling, you're tangled. Roll 2d6 for me real quick.
Okay. That is 4.
Okay. Your left arm, you feel your wrist snap. Your left arm is broken.
Ooh.
That's the one that's got the
handcuff on it.
handcuff.
Mm-hmm.
Your left arm snaps, and you hear, as you're rolling, you hear something crack inside of the sheriff's ribs. And he kind of makes a noise as well, and he's in a lot of pain as well.
How's Adam?
Laying on the ground, you see the leg sliced. You're not immediately worried. It's not something that's it's probably not gonna make him bleed out from this, but it was enough to get him off his feet. All of you are tumbled on the ground, and that is the sheriff's turn.
Oh, yeah, I hope I go first here.
You just need to kill him at this point.
Oh, I
Yeah.
The next and hopefully final round of action cards. We have Finley.
No.
Finley, you can use Benny.
Wait, I can use a Benny. I'm gonna use a Benny.
All right. All right, I will keep it going and then come back to yours.
Absolutely.
So here is views.
Take it.
Paul? Are you guys going at the same time again?
No, I got a 9.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't really see it very. Okay, I can see now. The sheriff. Oh. The headless horseman.
The 3? What is that?
This is a jack.
Oh,
Jack.
And Finley's redraw.
It's not any better.
Do you want to spend another one? Now would be the time to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I'll spend another one. I'll spend another one. Fuck it.
it'd be hard to
Oh my
get better.
God.
Do you
It'd be
wanna
hard to get better
No.
than them.
Do you
No,
want to
it's
Get
spend
a
fine.
another?
Joker.
No, it's fine. It's
It would be
fine.
so hard to get something
Yeah.
higher than a jack.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's see here. I'm gonna have them go at the same time.
That's probably fair.
So, since the scene we were just on is with view, I'll just go ahead and start there.
How far away did we get, by the way, before he slit at?
Not far. You're still in. You all can still see each other. You could see out the window if you looked. Yeah, Paul, you can see it pretty clearly. The sheriff coughs and blood does come out of his mouth and spatter down onto the ground. He seems to be on his last leg, and he stands up, and you see him pull a little rifle out of his boot. Or not rifle, I'm so sorry. Revolver is what I meant to say, out of his boot. And he brings it up, and he cocks the gun, blood just spilling down his lips. He aims it at your head, View. All right. He aims the revolver at your head, coughing, sputtering. He fires. Slams into the side of your face, into the cheekbone, out the almost back of your head, basically. Your ear explodes off into the dust. For the time being, you are currently bleeding out. And we will see what happens on your next turn. The other two, you hear this shot. You look over, you see the sheriff standing over View, just having fired off the gun. Now we are up to, it would be View, correct?
Actually, it's technically the horseman's turn because
Oh,
we decided
yes.
to do them simultaneously.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So the horseman who is standing there with Paul on his back, not able to find Finley, hears this gunshot. His head snaps over. He sees the sheriff standing over. He sees the sheriff who looks like him standing over View's body, and he turns. I'm gonna go ahead and make a smarts roll to see if he knows what's going on with that, or if this disguise absolutely confuses him. I just rolled double ones.
About time.
What? Okay. So he looks over, confused. You hear this just angry sound, but it comes from the horse. Like the huff comes from the horse. The horseman having no head to make these noises. It seems to be one with the horse, and it makes this noise, turns and sprints towards the sheriff.
No way.
Sprints towards the sheriff, and as it does, the scythe comes out, swings, and the sheriff, just having shot down at view, looks up just in time to beheaded by the horseman. And as soon as the scythe, as soon as it finishes with the swing, the horseman disappears. And Paul, you go ahead and make an agility check for me. I can't believe that just happened.
I forgot you were even on the horse.
7.
All right, so you land on your feet, kind of stumble a little bit. You're standing basically right above view. You look down, you see, for a moment, you're sure he's dead. You see blood spilling out, but he blinks a couple times and he's looking at you with a scared face. All right, it is. We're technically not in combat anymore, so I will give you all one thing that you can do. What is your intent, Paul?
I'm gonna. I don't know. Don't know what I'm gonna do.
What do you want to do, and I'll tell you how you can.
Well, I want to try to save View's life.
Okay. So what you could do is you could try to make a healing roll. If you are unskilled in healing, that would be a -2. So you'd have your D4, your D6, and you'd have your -2 penalty.
All right, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. So you immediately drop to your knees, start pushing, just almost like pushing the blood that's pooling out of the way of the side of his head. No.
Exploded again, and I got a 7.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
So, Finley, you've heard the gunshot. You hear Paul just shouting something. I don't know what it would be. Something like stay with me or something very stereotypical like that. But you just hear him shouting in a way that isn't. You don't feel danger present necessarily. You look up from where you were hiding and you see View laying in the street. You see his horse laying in the street, and you see Paul over him with blood all over his arms. What would you like to do?
I will rush out of the store that I am in and just start hollering for like a medic. Just being like, we need a medic, please somebody help us.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna run over there and I'm going to try and help like staunch the wound in any way. I'm just gonna like get down on my knees beside View and just like be right there and like trying to help in any way I can.
All right, so in this seemingly empty town, as everyone is asleep or hiding out in their homes, the town is so empty. The sheriff's body lays headless beside you. View lays blinking, trying to remain conscious as Paul and Finley drop down to their knees beside him, working, pushing the blood out of the way, cleaning the wound, looking him over, wrapping his head with what you can. And as this is happening, for cinematic purposes, you're wrapping his head, you're screaming for a medic. View, your vision is like, it goes black and then it goes white with pain and then it goes black again and then white with pain. And For a moment, you were scared. But looking up at Paul and Finley above you, treating your wound, shouting, you can't even hear their shouts. You can't really hear anything right now. But as they're shouting, they're looking at you and they're assuring you that you're going to be okay. And as they assure you of this, you allow yourself to just fall unconscious. Alive, but unconscious.